Good evening, everyone. I call to order the Eastpointe City Council meeting on Tuesday, March 16th, 2021 at 7 p.m. We always start our meeting with God, which leads to our invocation with our councilwoman. In conclusion, as well, goes to our Pledge of Allegiance that we would like you to join us in. Councilwoman, good evening.
Thank you. Dear God, help us to be mindful of what we have lost in this past year and what we are starting to gain back. Help us to understand and be sympathetic to our neighbors who are struggling with grief. Help us to care for our neighbors who are struggling with depression and isolation. Let those of us that are doing well see the pain of those who suffer. Let us comfort them. Lastly, we pray for hope. We pray for hope in this new spring, that our community will be kept safe from disease. We pray for hope that the experience of the last year will help us become more compassionate human beings. We pray for hope that the future will give us much to celebrate. We pray for your rainbow at the end of the storm. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United
States of America. And to the
republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone who joined us in the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance. Good evening, Ms. Walting. We will be going into roll call.
Good evening, Mayor. Councilmember Curley?
Here.
Councilmember DeMonico?
Mr. Curley, where are you?
Eastpointe.
All right, I'm here, Eastpointe.
Councilmember Lucido?
Here, Eastpointe.
Councilmember Moore?
Here in Eastpointe.
Mayor Owens?
Here in Eastpointe. Thank you, ma'am. We're going next to the approval of the agenda, and I would like to, first let me see if he's in here. Mr. Kyles?
Yes, hello, I'm here.
Okay, great. I would like to add a brief presentation from the director of the Boys and Girls Club, Mr. Kyles, to the agenda, council. That's okay with you? Anybody else have any additions or subtractions?
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Yes, sir.
I would like to remove the closed session attorney-client privilege legal opinion. I'd like to have that removed from the agenda tonight.
Okay. Anybody else, council?
How long of a presentation, Madam Mayor?
Not longer than 10 minutes. Right, Mr. Kyles? I think he's gonna do a very brief one.
Yes, correct. And this won't be longer than 10 minutes.
Okay, Councilman Monaco.
Okay.
I need a motion.
Madam Mayor, I'll motion to approve the agenda, adding a 10-minute presentation from the Boys and Girls Club of America and removing the closed session attorney-client privilege.
Support.
Moved and supported. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Lucido?
Yes.
Councilmember Curley?
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico?
Yes.
Councilmember Moore?
Yes.
Mayor Owens?
Yes. Thank you. So we're gonna just turn it right into the Boys and Girls Club Director, Chris Kyles, who is interested in bringing a Boys and Girls Club to the city of Eastpointe, which will be the only one in the county of Macomb, if everything goes as planned. Good evening, Director Kyles.
Hello, how are you all? My name is Chris Kyles, Executive Area Director of Boys and Girls Club. Boys and Girls Club of Southeastern Michigan, and I just thank you for having me here today. We're excited about our possible partnership with Eastpointe. I do have a presentation, but I'm unable to share my screen. Is it any way? It says it's disabled.
Yeah, Mariah, do you? It's in the security menu.
All right, are you able to do it now? Thank you, Cardi.
No problem.
Nope, it's not letting me do it.
You hit the check for share screen in there.
There we go.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So like I said, and Marion said, the Boys and Girls Club is really excited and interested in moving into Eastpointe and Macomb County and serving the youth of this great city. As Executive Area Club Director, I wanted to go over our ladder really briefly with you all. Over the last 2 years, we've reimagined what Boys and Girls Club of Southeast Michigan was and what we do. And our goals for our youth, we serve members 6 to 18, that when they leave us at 18, they're career ready, they're startup ready, and they're homeowner ready. So through this, our first level to get youth ready is providing access. Right now, we're both online and offline. Since the pandemic, we've really ramped up our virtual programming, as well as we have 5 sites open right now for youth to attend. At a minimum basis due to COVID restrictions. We serve 50 youth at each site right now, and then we serve the rest of our youth virtually. Affordability, the program is $50 per year, and that's but no child is turned away for the inability to pay. Inclusive design, we want to make this design open to every youth. We want them to feel, every family, we want them to feel like the club is their home away from home, a place that they can come to and get these skills and get things that they need to reach our goals. Our level 2 is safety. So physical space is important. We do think that we have a good space at Eastpointe that we'd like to have for the club. Also caring adults. Our staff members, our mentors, our program partners are all caring adults who want to see the best for the youth that we serve. And also we want to help with social and emotional skills. That's really important, especially during these times. You really want to help youth, making sure that they have the mental health, that their mental health is good, that their social and emotional skills are developed. As we move to level 3, we focus on free play, a lot of activities, and those are the things that you will be familiar with the Boys and Girls Clubs, pool, organized sports. So we do have organized sports, and that teaches members teamwork, team building, communication skills, things of that nature. And we also want to build their 21st century skills. So as they move into level 4, which is self-efficacy, and become teenagers, we want them give them exposure to employment. We want to do college and career exploration, and we actually want to give them that experience. An example of this, we were on the news a couple of weeks ago. We have what's called an industry club, and we have youth 14 through 18 years of age, and we've immersed them in the fashion industry. And the club is called our Fashion Design Industry Club, and they work with we have an industry club located downtown at Detroit is the New Black. And it's on Woodward. So that's one of the places that we work, and then we also partner with a fashion design company called Deviate. And through this company, our youth work with these fashion designers hand in hand. We have, so they have developed marketing skills, learned sales. They've learned merchandising skills, as well as they learn the design process from the beginning to the end, as far as making clothes and making designs. They have what's called a social justice t-shirt. And we just launched that during Black History Month. They designed the t-shirts. They licensed the t-shirts through Boys and Girls Club. Tommy Walker, who owns Detroit vs. Everybody, helped them finalize their design. And then their t-shirts have actually went to market. So we're definitely excited about that. And we have about 14 young entrepreneurs now that are in that program. And then we have more industry clubs to come as well. So as you see with our second slide, we're working to build an ecosystem. So before we reimagined our clubs, we just had what we call community clubs, and these were standalone clubs that were in areas. So this is one example of our standalone club, which is our deal site. Now we've equipped that club to have several supporting systems that will help our youth and their families be the best they can be and help them achieve our goals of being homeowner ready, career ready, and startup ready. We've served over 21,000 youth in the last year. We have 51 small businesses in our ecosystem. So we also have the first pony ride co-working space, where not only do we work with youth, but on a separate part of most of our buildings, we have what's called a pony ride space. And that is an incubator for small businesses and small entrepreneurs, where we provide them with things that they need to start their businesses and get their businesses to flourish. We also have 42 program partners, and those program partners provide programs within our clubs for our youth. I have a short video that will kind of show you some of the stuff we do as our program partners. So I'll play this.
Welcome guests to the Boys and Girls Club. We're glad that you could join us. Today we're doing a demo day. So we have a lot of new programs that we're going to be doing at our club this fall.
Today, the first time ever, we did a demo day, and the purpose of it was to really just get our youth to actually be immersed in some of the new program offerings that we're offering this fall.
We had multiple groups of the youth come in and for demo day to learn what we're going to do here at the Boys and Girls Club. We had a mixed reaction of the kids. They were actually, some were excited, mostly they were afraid, because when you think about bees in general, they always think about wasps. But when we got to, I informed them about what's the difference between honeybees and wasps, they kind of got down, but got more excited about the program.
It's a wonderful experience working with the children of all ages. I see a lot of the children that is range 12 to 13 and more interested in DJing and music production. The little ones, teaching them more about song structure, just having to press the buttons to get them acclimated to actually using the equipment. So it was a very good experience today.
So we have this through our wonderful partner, Living Arts, that actually teaches our youth how to jig and just how to have fun dancing and putting certain dance moves together. Urban Content Studios, they came out today. They've actually already been working with us for a while. There are amazing content creators and collectors. But the cool thing about this partnership is they also work with our youth, which makes so much sense because we have the content production studio here.
We're a college of fine art and design. So what does that mean? It means that everything that you wear, your clothes, your shoes, your automobile, the furniture, your house, everything was designed by an artist before it became a reality. So we're here today to give the young people from the Boys and Girls Club an opportunity to develop the creativity that they have within themselves.
So we are working with Mentally Fit through Trap Yoga. And the cool thing about it is a lot of our youth and adults, like mental health is like huge. Like it's always been huge. We've just pretty much ignored it. But it's great to be able to partner with someone that gets it, that works with youth.
Today behind me, Shay and I are working and we're teaching the kids how to use block coding to control Sphero robots. Spheros work pretty much like remote control cars in the sense where you use block coding and again different kind of joysticks and whatnot in order to tell the robot what to do.
So with that video and everything that we've done since we reimagined the Boys and Girls Club, that video was with the first day of school. And we had a demo day and the youth got to pick what programs would be in the club that they would participate in. But as we have reimagined our club, we've talked to over 300 to 400 community stakeholders, youth, parents, and community partners to make sure that we're providing our youth with programs that they want to see in the club and that things that will excite them and help families grow and reach our goals. So as we expand, we've went over this with Mayor Owens. This is our guidepost. So we usually look for individual champions who want to see the Boys and Girls Club in their community when we move in communities. We look for also making sure we have multiple year funding sources so we can actually stay in the community and it's something that is sustainable. We look for a club advisory board co-chairs, and these are community leaders who want to help lead the advisory board that helps guide the club and help support them in their programming. Community support is huge. We want to have the support of communities and families so we know that they want us in the community. And then we also host a minimum of 2 community visioning sessions, exclusive design set processes. And this helps to design what the Boys and Girls Club in that particular community looks like. And like I said, the residents and the community leaders and the youth have a major voice in what they want to see in their community. And then operational readiness. Once we've reached all of these goals and we're able to have all of our finances and facilities and resource development and everything in play, we move to our final approval, which is through Boys and Girls Club of America and BGCSM, which is Boys and Girls Club of Southeastern Michigan Board of Directors. So we're really, really excited about this opportunity. We think that we have some great programming that we can bring to the youth of Eastpointe. We want to work with you all. We think Eastpointe is a great city. And I myself, I'm a resident of Eastpointe. So I'm excited. I have youth youth who live, my children live in Eastpointe. And I also have family and other relatives and friends who are Eastpointe residents as well, who are definitely excited about this opportunity. So I thank you for your time and allowing me to present. So Mayor Owens, I'll turn it over back to you.
Thank you, sir. And so how do we move forward? I know you said that you need 25 letters of interest from the residents and so on and so forth to move forward, correct?
Yes, we'll need 25 letters of interest from the residents, and those are starting to come in. We have some champions who are starting to work on a committee. So that's where we are in the process. Like I said, we believe we have a site that we believe that will be a good site for us. So once those letters come in, then we're gonna bring the committee back together, the champions, and move on with our next steps.
Now, how can the residents reach out to you and communicate with you, Mr. Kyles?
They can reach out by email, and the email is CKYLES at B as in boy, G as in girl, C as in cat, S as in Sam, M as in Mary.org.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you for taking time out. And also as a resident, it's even better that you know you're a part of Boys and Girls Club. And just to let the residents know, I'm an alumni there. So I believe that it's a good program. Look what it did for me. And so I know it could do so much more for our youth. So thank you again, Mr. Kyles. Please stay in the meeting. You are a resident still, so listen to what we have to say and what's going on in the community. Thank you again for, I don't know if any council members had any questions before I let him go. Councilman DeMonico?
Sure, thanks, Mayor. Thanks, Mr. Kyles, for coming out. The block coding I saw in there, I'm somewhat familiar with that. I'm a software developer for a living. So if this works out, let me know if I can help at all. But the question I had, how does the funding typically work for this? Just in, from a 10,000 foot view.
Well, there are private funders, government funding, grants. So there's a variety of funding streams. We have been working with the champions who are on in the committee to seek out all of these funding streams to ensure that we have funding for the next 3 years.
Okay.
Madam Mayor?
Yes, sir. Councilman Curley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Can you talk a little bit about the volunteers or your staff? It's an incredible program to begin with, but I'm interested in your staff and what experience they have and their passion for what they're doing.
Oh, that's great. And Councilman is it DeMonico? That's it, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
I'm gonna hold you to that volunteering process as we talk about volunteers. Actually, one of the most tenured volunteers. I've been with the club 21 years. I was a club kid myself. My children are club kids. Our staff our staff are innovative. They love the youth. Our president CEO, his name is Sean H. Wilson. He was a previous funder at Ford. Now he's on the nonprofit side. He has come in and he has reimagined our club and really challenged our youth to learn more, to learn 21st century skills. And also we've challenged them to become career homeowner and start out ready. We want them when they leave the club in Eastpointe to be able to buy a house in Eastpointe. In our staff, we have a lot of tenured staff. A lot of them have been there 10 years or more. Some are new. We have a lot of staff that are alumni, which is a great thing because they know the passion for the club and the passion for youth. All of our staff, our background check, safety check, that video was actually shot before COVID. So we have a lot of COVID. We have all COVID policies in place. We have a young, dynamic youth group of 14 to 18-year-olds that will be the next wave of professionals. So we're excited about what we do as a staff.
Yeah. May I continue, Madam Mayor?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Well, you've got your second volunteer. I'll pick up Cardi whenever we go by car, and wherever you want us to go, we'll go. And I'm serious about that, but I'm also serious about what you're doing. And I don't know if you or your staff realize the incredible job that you're doing for the future of America. Think about what would happen to these kids if you weren't involved in a program such as this. You know, what happened if that didn't exist right now, right today? How many kids would have been lost? And so I commend you. I pray for you, and I pray that the Holy Spirit would walk beside you every single day to be successful. I won't ask you where your location is because you may still be negotiating that. So I don't want to blow that. I'm sure I'll find out soon enough. But
yes,
Chris, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. God bless you, and God bless all the staff that work so hard and have that passion for the kids.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you both.
Madam Mayor?
I think, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Councilwoman.
Thank you. Well, I can say that my children have been club kids, as you stated. It has helped even in the summertime when I had to go to work, you know, take them to the clubs. They've been to 3 different locations, depending on where I was living at the time. And it's been phenomenal for them. So I do thank you, and I cannot wait until it is here. And if you need any help also, even if the committee needs any help, I am available.
Thank you. We got 3 volunteers already. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, and I think to tap into that, I believe that in our last meeting, Mr. Kyles, you said that the United Way would be willing to help in some way with that funding. Is that correct?
Yes, yes. Sean is working with the United Way, and they're excited about the opportunity. So they are willing to help.
Okay, sounds good. And we also have our Eastpointe Credit Union, Community Credit Union is also willing to help and give out funding. And so that's where we are now, is with the letters and also with the funding, because in order to do anything, you need money and you need support from your community. So that's what we're working on now. And we need your support. So we got 41 people on this Zoom meeting. So we only need 25 of you. So to help out with that. So and if anyone knows any stakeholders or organizations that's willing to help fund this, please let Mr. Kyles know, reach out to me, and I'll reach out to him, whatever you need. So thank you again. And again, stay in this meeting. I'll be watching you.
Yes, I will. Thank you. Thank you.
One more thing. Can you give out your email address one more time, please?
Yes, it's CKYLES at B as in boy, G as in girl, C as in cat, S as in Sam, M as in Mary.org.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all for having me. I'm definitely staying.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, sounds good. We're gonna move right along. Thank you, Council. We're going to the hearing of the public. We're gonna open the first half of the hearing of the public. This is the time for the residents, stakeholders, and guests to express their thoughts, opinions, and ideas to council. We ask that you be respectful to council and those who are listening of all ages. And if you don't get to finish what you have to say or what you have to state, you have an additional 3 minutes closer to the end of the meeting. So the hearing of the public is now open. Ms. Walton.
Thank you, Mayor. I have one hand raised. Let's see. Miss Mary Hall Rayford.
Okay. Good evening.
Good evening. Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Marion Hall Rayford, Eastpointe resident, advocate. Couple of things I wanted to discuss briefly. One is the electric cars. I think in looking at some issues with pricing and efficacy of those versus gas cars, some more research needs to be done before anyone makes a decision about spending money for that particular item. The other thing I wanted to talk about is that the greater respect and decorum needs to be exercised during council meetings. We have a number of residents who are just appalled about some of the things they see. And since I promised them I would be a voice for them, I'm speaking on behalf of the residents of Eastpointe. The other thing I wanted to say is that I would love to see wisdom exercised in all decisions made for this city and not necessarily for personal agendas. If council is not going to work for the city, then it's time for a change. We need to see good decisions made on behalf of the city and not any one person's personal agenda. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Miss Linda Flans would like to speak next.
Okay, good evening, Miss Flans.
Hello, how you doing?
Good, thank you. Hope you're okay.
Good. Are you ready?
Yes. Oh, stop.
Okay,
Go ahead.
I just wanted to say that I don't support converting the fleet to electric. And then from the Facebook posts on the residents pages, no one in the city does. And since the vehicles are used so little, I would encourage administration to look at developing a reservation system to better utilize the vehicles we do have. Since they're only used 7,000 miles a year, it seems like we could be a little bit more efficient with that. And I think that's it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Hello.
Ms. Walton.
Myron would like to speak next.
Good evening.
Madam Mayor and Council, Gary Myron from Eastpointe. I have a little issue with the Roger Candy building, the lighting. They installed some heavy duty LED lights in the back. I'm 5 houses behind them and I cannot see my neighbor's yard because they're so bright. Even at quarter to seven tonight, they're real bright. They kind of like blind you. And I talked to a few of the other neighbors and yes, it's a big issue. They had one before, now they added another one and it's straight down. And like I said, 5 houses down and it just blinds you. If somebody could look into that, along with on Hayes, on 9 Mile, this is at 9 and Hayes, going towards 10 Mile, the lights are shining towards 10 Mile on the front. They blind you as you're coming up to 9 Mile, south from 10 Mile. And when somebody walks in front of you, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see them or not. And to me, that's a big issue too. But the main thing is, the lights in the back. You could drive by, you could see, it lights it. It's big enough where it would, if it was in the back of the city hall building, it would light up your whole parking lot. And that's a little parking lot behind that building. I don't know who's responsible for it, if it's Rogers or whoever owns the building, but if somebody could please check into that, please. And the Boys and Girls Club, I think that's a great thing to have. And wish everybody well with that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. In those locations, if you don't mind, if you get a chance, just to make sure to have a backup plan, can you email us those locations so we can check into them? If you get a chance, sir. Okay, thank you.
Yep, I could do that. Thank you.
Okay. As a reminder for us as well. Do we have anyone else?
It looks like Michelene Buchek would like to speak next.
Okay, good evening. Hi, good evening. Either you're on mute or something's wrong with your phone.
She put a comment in the chat. She stated that she searched Facebook's Eastpointe page and the police department page for instructions on how to sign up for Nixle, but nothing was found. She does not have a speaker, so she's typing in the chat.
Okay. Ms. Walton, are you able to, text her back in the chat how to get to Nixle?
I sure will.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else you see, Ms. Walton?
I do not see any more hands raised, and there's nothing in the chat.
I'm glad she asked that question. Real quick, can you give that information to everyone that's listening, how to sign up for Nixle if they're not signed up to Nixle, Ms. Walton?
Yes, I'll put a message in the chat because it's a text, like a 6-digit number that you have to text to Nixle. So I'll list that in the chat for everyone.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Okay, moving right along. The hearing of the public is now closed. If you didn't get to speak, you have a second chance to speak closer to the end. So thank you for everyone that participated. Now we're going to the approval of the minutes.
Madam Mayor?
Yes, sir.
I would move that we approve the minutes of our regular meeting on March 2nd, 2021.
Second.
Moved and supported. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Curley?
Yes.
Councilmember Moore?
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido?
Yes.
Mayor Owens?
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico?
Yes.
There are no scheduled hearings, so we're moving right along to unfinished business. Item A, the reappointment of Planning Commission members. Council, would like to start?
Madam Mayor, I will make a motion to reappoint John DeHunt to the Planning Commission with a term to expire on 12/31/2023.
I'll support that.
Council, any conversation on that? Moved and supported, please call the roll.
Councilmember Lucido?
Yes.
Councilmember Curley?
Yes.
Councilmember Moore?
Yes.
Mayor Owens?
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico?
No.
Moving right along.
Madam Mayor, I will motion to reappoint Jeffrey Lubeck to the Planning Commission with a term to expire on 12/31/2023.
Support.
I would like to speak on that.
Yes, please. Councilwoman.
Okay. As I was looking at the time when everyone was initially appointed and their dates, and it seems as though people serve a term of 5 years. I believe that if there are other Eastpointe residents that would like to step up and actually serve the community, that they should be given the opportunity if a person has already served over 10 years. Simply because it's hard to find people that are willing to volunteer their time and the effort to actually do these jobs. So I commend anyone who does, and I commend anyone who has done it thus far. But in order to give a fair opportunity to other residents, I believe that anyone who's already served over 10 years, if their term is up, it should be allowed for someone else to come and serve, because those people are willing to serve, which is very much appreciated. Not that I'm not saying that the people who, like I said, already served. I commend them. It's an honor. They've been a blessing to the city, but I believe that other people serving would be a way of them learning more about the city and how to get involved more with the city. So I see that his term, he started on January 28th, 2010. And so that's over 10 years. So if there's someone else who would like to serve and have volunteered to serve, I believe that they should have an opportunity.
Sounds good. So we have, did we get support on that?
Yes, we did. I supported, yeah.
Thank you, sir. We got motion and support, and then we had a conversation by the councilwoman. Since we have that on the floor, please call the roll.
Councilmember Lucido?
Yes.
Councilmember Curley?
Yes.
Councilmember Moore?
No.
Mayor Owens?
No.
Councilmember DeMonico?
No.
Madam Mayor, I will motion to reappoint Sheila Ulinski to the Planning Commission for a term to expire on 12/31/2023.
Support. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Support. Cardigan, go ahead. Cardigan, support.
Okay. Motion and support. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Lucido?
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico?
Yes.
Mayor Owens?
Yes.
Councilmember Curley?
Yes.
Mayor, oh, excuse me, Councilmember Moore?
Yes.
Madam Mayor, I will motion to reappoint Leo Lalonde to the Planning Commission with a term to expire on 12/31/2023.
Support.
Motion and support. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Lucido?
Yes.
Councilmember Curley?
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico?
Yes.
Councilmember Moore?
Yes.
Mayor Owens?
No. Moving right along.
Madam Mayor?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just going to move on to the next agenda item, which is kind of the same thing.
Yeah, it is. Thank you.
I will motion to appoint Cassandra Ford to the Planning Commission for a term to expire on 12/31/2023.
I'll support that.
Motion and supported. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Lucido?
No.
Councilmember DeMonico?
Yes.
Councilmember Curley?
No.
Councilmember Moore?
Yes.
Mayor Owens?
Yes.
Okay, I think that's it. That's all 4 open seats now.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay.
Moving right along, and welcome to the new council members and those who are currently was reappointed. Congratulations. Thank you for your work and your service. Next item is approval to use AEW services for completion of charging stations, design and cost estimates. Council.
Sure.
Go ahead. You can start.
So sure, on this item, first of all, so this is for the charging stations at the City Hall parking lot, of course, that we would use then for the electric code enforcement vehicles that we asked city administration to look into. To me, I think, I guess it's somewhat simple. This 12,000 proposal was put forward to us by Finance Director Blum. But I think we can make this much simpler. We have one electric charging station already installed at City Hall. You can plug one vehicle at a time into it right now, but you can add, as far as what I've understood from the information we've been given, you can add a second plug to it, so you can have 2 plugged in at once. And then we have the infrastructure for a second station, which can also then do 2, you could have 2 plugs in it for, and I see Mr. Kern shaking his head yes, so, or nodding his head yes, or whatever. So I would just suggest we just go forward to do that as we installed the last one, which I think Mr. Blum said was, I think we spent, what was it, $3,500 or something to install that first one. So that's all we would need to spend. And I don't believe we need to, I don't believe we need AEW services at this moment then. Is that correct, Mr. Blum, about the,
Yeah, the 3,500 included running the wire and putting the pads in. So it would be just a matter of finding the right charging stations and getting them installed by an electrician.
Okay. Thank you.
Are you done, Councilman?
Yeah.
I want to go to Councilwoman Lucido. I think she wants to say something.
Yes, well, Councilman DeMonico kind of touched on exactly what I was going to say about what we already have set up, what we can already use. So my proposal moving forward forward would be to maybe consider like keeping 5 of the cars that we leased and then returning 5 like we had discussed before, kind of. And then next year we could try purchasing a few electric vehicles and just see how it works and use those charging stations that we already have instead of paying AEW to come out to do this analysis. So in my opinion, I don't think, if council agrees, we don't need to vote on this tonight because I don't think it's necessary to go out for this bid.
Councilman Curley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Everything said what I was going to say. It's not necessary. It's not timely. I think we got the cart before the horse. And if we can put an extension on there and have 2 stations within one for the time being, I think that's plenty. So I would agree with the other 2 council persons that we probably ought to just take this off the agenda until such time someone asks to put it back on.
Yeah, I think we should not move forward, even spending the $3,500 until we do the research on, like I said, I don't think the residents really are looking forward to spending more money on electric cars. I don't think it's a priority. And I think we just need to do more research and seeing what other cities and other communities are doing, how it looks in the future, and if it's something that will be an asset for our city. And if not, we need to hold off on that and put our energy in more things that are priority right now in the city of Eastpointe. Before I move on, Councilwoman Moore, did you want to step in and say anything?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. I definitely am not in favor of moving forward with this. Because even with the additional outlet right now, if we don't have the actual vehicles for that, it won't take long to install that. It's something that if we were to order a vehicle, we can have it put in place before the vehicle arrives. And since we don't have an order for the vehicle, I don't believe that we should put in for an order to have another outlet put in until after that happens. Because dealing with the construction of it, since the one is already there, it'd be easy just to add a ponytail on it. So I also believe that no money should be put up at all at this time for anything.
Yeah, I agree. I think the last time, the only person that used it at that time, correct me if I'm wrong, was the last city manager, because he actually had a electric car, but I really don't see people using it like that, and to spend more money for an idea that we're not guaranteed, or on the idea if other cities gonna be doing it. And I'm not even the type of mayor in type of city that does what everybody else does anyway, like the medical marijuana. I'm not in favor of that too much, but I don't really, I don't follow all trends. I follow the trends that's best for the city of Eastpointe. And I don't think that's the best for the city of Eastpointe at this moment. So moving right along, I think all of us agreed to put this down and not even have a conversation, but more research on it. So we're gonna go right to reports from administration, starting with our city manager, Ms.
Madam Mayor, could I comment one more thing on the last item?
Oh, yes, sir.
Thanks. Yeah, I was planning on just making a very simple motion though. And yeah. I guess it's it's clear what everyone's thoughts are on this, but I guess it seems like if the other council members supported this, I was just going to motion that we just direct the city manager to finish the second plug on the first charging station and install the second one. Just go ahead with, it's under the 5,000 limit that the city manager can spend anyway, according to our purchasing ordinance, but just as support to do so. And then as far as I understand the process, further plans will just be brought forward then to purchase the 3 electric vehicles we talked about for like the first year of the plan. I know that's sort of a lengthy motion. I can clarify, I guess I'll just say, I just would motion that I'd like to direct the city manager to finish the second plug on the first charging station and then install the second charging station with 2 plugs so that we do have it ready for up to 4 vehicles. And then at a later time, just come forward with the plan to buy the first 3 electric vehicles for the fleet.
I would support that.
Okay. Motion is support. Please call the roll.
Councilmember DeMonico?
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido?
Yes.
Councilmember Curley?
Yes.
Councilmember Moore?
No.
Mayor Owens?
No. Thank you. Moving right along to reports from administration from our city manager, Ms. Doom. Good evening, Ms. Doom.
Good evening. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Well, just to piggyback off of what we've just been discussing, and I have sent all emails that have come to me from our residents with their opinions about electric cars. And for each email, it was an overwhelming negative that, and for a number of reasons. It came down to cost factors. It came down to, still a very new and expensive product, to things like we need road repairs and we need sewers. But as I've indicated to each of our residents who reached out to me, I did let them know I would bring this up briefly tonight, and also shared with them that I have forwarded all of their emails to each individual council member so that you can read them and have a good understanding. If I read every email today, we'd still be here another half hour from now. But I will say that it certainly has piqued our interest, and several of us are following very closely all the electric car developments that are out there. It's very exciting. My son-in-law works for Ford Motor Company in Cleveland, and he's just been given through the company an electric vehicle to test for the year. So I'm very excited to see if it lives up to all of the promises they make on mileage and efficiency and all the good things. Of course, I'm not so sure it looks so good for us to have Mustangs, but he's got a, I think it's called a Mustang Mach-E for the electric vehicle. So it's nice to have a family member have hands-on a brand new electric vehicle, so I can get a lot of input from him as an engineer. Also, our finance director and I, and we're all rather interested. We're looking at the new models that are coming out. We're looking at the new batteries. So I do think that the time will come. It'll be up to council to decide when that time is, but the more I read, the more interesting it becomes. And I'm rather hopeful that the price comes down as more people start to buy electric vehicles. Right now they are a bit high. Most of them start at a low of $42,000 and go upward to $100,000. So price point still pretty steep, but they're making great strides. And other than that, our focus has been on helping our departments with their budgets. We have some new directors, so we're taking a little bit of time and really going through our budget process. And we're at the same time, we're working with our union. Last year, we had a 1-year extension of union negotiations due to all of the uncertainty of COVID. So we're all sitting back down to the table. I'd say we should be wrapped up by next week. So it's been a real busy time for us as we go talk to each department and meet with all of the unions. And that's all I have for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions or concerns for our city manager council?
I had one question there.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Can we, Ms. Doom, for the next meeting, can we maybe put on the agenda to talk about the medical marijuana ordinance at least, and how we can move forward on that? Just about when the application will be ready.
Very good. We'll have that on the next agenda.
Okay, thanks.
Also, thank you, Councilman. Also, Ms. Doom, does the Director of Public Safety have any updates for us this evening?
Well, let's see if he's got something new happening. Director, are you with us?
I'm with you.
Hey, good evening.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and Council. The only thing I have is I just want to remind the public on March 25th, that's a Thursday at 6:30, we're going to have our first Zoom neighborhood watch meeting. It's a combination neighborhood watch / public safety meeting. I've already developed the agenda. It's about 2 pages long. There's a lot of information. Hopefully we will get through it fast, but it's a lot of important stuff that our residents should know. So March 25th at 6:30 Zoom. You can go on the city website or one of our Facebook pages, Place Fire, and our neighborhood watch page. It has the meeting number, and look forward to start these meetings up again. So.
Okay, how's it looking out there, Director? How's our crime? Hopefully it's no that much crime, but crime will be everywhere.
There's always crime. We keep it in check, but so far it's been pretty quiet other than minor crimes. We're working, we got our hands full, our detectives, but for the most part, we keep everything in check. Right now, we're looking to hire 3 more police officers, so.
Okay, well, thank you for the job you do and be safe.
Thank you.
Any questions for Public Safety Director, Council, before I move on? Okay, seeing none. Thank you, Director. Thank you, Ms. Jones. Going to our Finance Director's report, Mr. Blum. Good evening, Mr. Blum.
Mayor and Council. Couple of items. The first thing is, if you recall, a few months ago, we had a drunk driver run into City Hall and damage the council chambers. The work on that was completed yesterday. We're going to let the carpet sit for a couple days, and then we'll get the chairs and flags and everything back in there. And then we still need to get the pictures hung back up, but it will be ready for April unless the state extends our Zoom options. But it's ready to go. So I'm very pleased with that. The other thing is with the latest COVID package out of Washington, there is $350 billion that is going to states, counties, cities, etc. It looks right now that Eastpointe will be able to access around $6 million over 2 years, and we will have until December of 2024 to actually utilize that money. So it's not something that is going to be rushed into. U.S. Treasury has to write rules of what the actual stipulations are and what we can use it for, what we can't use it for. And then state Treasury will get their nose into it and give us some additional guidelines. Right now in the broad categories, we will be able to utilize it for lost revenue due to COVID. There is a section that will allow us to spend money on infrastructure projects. So we might be able to do some water sewer projects or road projects with the money. Any expenses we incur as a city related to COVID will be reimbursable through those funds. And there's a few other categories out there, but what it looks like is we will receive the first $3 million by June, but we probably won't have the rules until July, August, maybe even as late as September before we get final rules on what we can use the money for. So either way, it's good news to be getting a little extra money in our coffers, and we'll figure out what we can do with it when the rules come out.
Thank you, sir. Council, any question? Oh, Councilman DeMonico.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. Yeah, I had a quick question, Mr. Blum, about that amount. I haven't seen the $6 million figure on anything. It's been a different figure. Where are you getting that number?
That came out of an MML presentation where they had the breakdown between all of the communities. So Eastpointe, it was I want to say about 6.1 million was their number, but it would be spread over 2 years.
Who? 6.1 million for who? For
Eastpointe.
Every presentation I've seen has been 3.17. So,
okay. And
one of them includes MML essentially through the National League of Cities, and the SEMCOG spreadsheet says that too.
Interesting. So. Okay, because yeah, I was at an MML presentation about 2 Mondays ago, and that was where the 6 million came from. Either way, it's a lot of money. So, but yeah, I guess we'll find out when it shows up in the bank account, right?
I guess so.
Any other questions? Anyone? Okay, thank you, Mr. Blum. Now we're going to speak to our city attorney, Mr. Albright. Good evening, Mr. Albright.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and members of council. Just a couple of quick updates this evening. The building department sent over 3 requests for the filing of nuisance abatement actions in the circuit court. Our office is in receipt of those. Files will be opened and those complaints will be filed in the circuit court within the next 14 days. The district court is conducting trials now on Friday mornings and Monday afternoons. Those can be watched via Zoom, and also they are live streamed on YouTube. So any members of the public that are interested in watching those court proceedings, those can be watched on YouTube. Our office is awaiting the list of, or the final list of show cause hearings. I touched base with the building official today, and Erin informed me that she should have that list completed and ready for council's consideration within the next couple of days. And so I will be bringing that list before the city council at the next meeting for scheduling of show cause hearings. And we're also in the process of scheduling dangerous building hearings as well. Once the building department gets a list of addresses that will be subject to dangerous building hearings, those will be scheduled and the notices will go out. And back on March 3rd, myself and the public safety director met with the judge and also the court administrator regarding some changes that are taking place with regard to arrests and different changes that are taking place with regard to traffic violations. That was an initial meeting, and I will be providing the council with periodic updates as that moves forward. That's all I have, Madam Mayor. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions for our city attorney?
Madam Mayor?
Yes, ma'am.
I do have a couple of questions for Mr. Albright. First
Yes.
of all, with next month, we're going to be going into live meetings unless they extend it on the state level that we're allowed to continue doing Zoom, which
Yes.
it doesn't look like it's probably going to happen. So I did have a couple of questions and I thought maybe you could look into it. Maybe if you could come up with some ideas to present to us. Because if we do go back into live meetings, I believe like the indoor, like the amount of people allowed indoors right now is 25 people. So like how we would handle that situation if we were meeting live and we had over 25 people attend our meeting, like just different options like that on what we could do to maybe help us navigate, you know, going back into in-person if we need to.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Albright, that conversation that you and the director, public safety director had with the judge.
Yes.
I would like an executive summary of what the updates were. And if you can send that to me in council, that would be nice.
Yes, I will do so, Madam Mayor.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? Any questions? Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Moving right along to new business. Item A, approval of AEW hourly charge rate increase for 2021 to 2022. Before we go into this, the finance director, Mr. Blum, this is something that they do every year, is that correct?
Correct. Their contract has a cost of living adjustment based on CPI.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, council.
Madam Mayor, I'll motion to approve the CPI rate increase for AEW of 1.1% to go into effect starting July 1st, 2021.
Support.
Motion supported. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Lucido?
Yes.
Councilmember Jamonico?
Yes.
Councilmember Moore?
Yes.
Mayor Owens?
Yes.
Councilmember Curley?
Yes.
The next item is under new business is a bid award for the 2021 water main replacement program. Council.
Sure, I guess I had a quick question, I guess, before maybe, I don't know if Mr. Kern had anything to say from AEW. But did you have an answer to my question about, I was looking at the capital improvement budget and it just didn't equal the amount for the project. Just wanted to make sure that, I believe we do, but it didn't, I think we maybe were missing something in the capital improvement part of the budget for budgeting this. Is it actually budgeted in the line items?
You're asking the director, right?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Mr. Blum. Yep, sorry if I didn't
okay.
direct.
We budgeted $3,555,000 for water projects. There was a list in the last budget of various things. I know that has changed over time, and Ryan may actually be able to give a better explanation of conversations he had with the previous DPW director on what changed and why. All I know is we have 3.5 million budgeted.
Okay.
Yeah, originally in the capital improvement plan, it was around 2.75 million or so for these projects. I don't believe the lead water service replacement work on the actual water main replacement projects were included in that capital improvement plan. There's also, I don't think what was included is particularly on Saxony Street at the south end at Ash Street, as well as at Semraw. That water main there, it ends there, and there's a section between Saxony and Lambrecht that also needs to be replaced. Otherwise, we would be leaving a 6-inch water main in that 300 to 400 foot section on each end. So we need to replace that as well. So we're not going from an 8-inch water main to a 6 back to an 8-inch. 8-inch is what is the minimum that's allowed currently today. I believe those are the two items, I think, for the most part, as to why there's a difference between the CIP and what the actual estimate and budget was. And we are replacing almost 200 lead water services as part of this project in order to comply with the new lead and copper rules through Eagle.
That's great. Mayor, if I had maybe a couple other questions then, if I could go.
Yes, please. Ask as much as you want. We're spending almost $4 million.
Yeah, Mr. Kern, I guess so. We had, this is one question I guess I didn't originally have, but now that we're discussing it, made me think of it here. Our Public Works Commissioner came to our meeting a couple meetings ago, right? And I thought we've discussed this before, but she seemed to indicate we should go in the opposite direction, I guess, that we've been going about laying, let me think here, I'm thinking about the opposite program here. We need to split the sewer line. Okay, that question is not appropriate. I'm thinking of the sewer system, about putting a second pipe down. I think we should talk about that in budget though, because I think we have in the past and we haven't talked about putting like a second pipe down so we can split the system in the 3/4 of the city, that the system's not split from the sanitary and the rainwater. So that's not a question for this. My original question, I guess, was the material of the pipe. I think it looked like the service lines are copper. Is the main PVC? I was just curious what the materials of the pipes are.
The water main that'll be installed will be ductile iron, and then yes, it's copper water services.
And that's generally the best
it is
to use.
It is, yes, and that's what we've been using for all the water main projects.
They have no chance of leaching them like lead or anything like that.
Right, correct, right.
Okay. Okay, I think that was my only other question. Thank you.
Welcome. I think Mr. Councilman DeMonico was talking about separating the water and sewage, correct? Because we don't have that throughout Eastpointe. So you were saying if we're gonna go down there and fix it, would that be something that we would add to that? Is that what you were trying to say?
Yeah, that would just be something we do when we're doing sewer lines, though, not water lines. This is just all water line work.
Yeah, I knew what you were talking about. Yeah, the separation system. I think that's going to cost the city, I think she said, over $10 million.
Mm-hmm.
And so since we're going down there and fixing stuff, would that be a project we should go ahead and do as well? So we don't have to dig that area back up. Does that sound like somewhere you were going?
Yeah, and I guess Mr. Kern, right, it probably doesn't make sense for this one because the sewer line's probably in a different.
Right, this is a completely different project. Yeah, this would be completely separate from the water main replacement project. This would be separation of stormwater and wastewater.
Right.
Yeah, it would be a separate discussion.
And that wouldn't be something that we can do while this is being done. You can't do
it would be a separate project. Yeah.
You couldn't do both when you're already down there?
I think the sewer separate, it's a completely different project. You'd have to start at one point and work your way into the residential areas. I think the separation for the most part is being discussed along the major roads first. And not these particular streets that we're doing water main replacement work.
Okay, I'm just saying to, you know, if we're gonna reconstruct something,
right,
let's do all the work while we're doing that. So we don't have to go back and reconstruct and it's more money to the residents. Do everything all at the same time. And
sure, it would probably, yeah, and it would probably make more sense if you're gonna do separation of sewers to do it as part of a road reconstruction project. With the water main replacement, we're not replacing the road. We're only gonna be excavating on one side of the street. It's fairly minimal, really.
Okay. Is someone, I don't want to interrupt anyone. Okay. Any other questions, council? Okay, moving right along.
I'd like to do a motion, Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I would like to recommend the motion to award the 2021 water main replacement program to the low bidder, Brico Excavating Company, LLC of Oak Park, Michigan, for the amount of $3,056,545 as stated in the company's bid dated March the 2nd, plus a 10% or $305,650 contingency for a total construction cost of $3,362,195.
Support.
Moved and supported. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Moore?
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico?
Yes.
Mayor Owens?
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido?
Yes.
Councilmember Curley?
Yes.
Next item, bid award for automatic water meter reading system. Council.
Madam Mayor.
Yes, sir.
I would move to award a contract to SLC Meter LLC to install automatic water meter reading system at a total cost of $2,626,586.88 and pay the annual maintenance fee of $54,270 for the first year and $108,540 per year for the years thereafter to Badger Meter.
Support.
Moved and supported. Please call the Councilman DeMonico.
Yeah, so just a quick comment. I guess I thought we were waiting until, you know, the pandemic was over because we're going to need to get into all the houses, you know, each individual house to do this program. So I don't want to go forward with this now. It does seem like it was a project we needed. And I also thought that the warranty still had, you know, the meters lasted 20 years. And we're on like year 14 or 15 now. I think it was 14 when we discussed this 6 months ago or whenever it was. So I guess at least now I'm not going to vote in favor of this. I thought we were waiting till, you know, I don't think it's a, you know, we obviously have to replace some of the meters and that's a cost, but I think a cost I'd rather just continue to do one at a time until the pandemic's over so we don't have to go into, you know, houses during the pandemic.
Thank you, sir. We have a motion and we have support. We're going to go into roll call.
Councilmember Curley?
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido?
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico?
No.
Councilmember Moore?
Yes.
Mayor Owens?
No. Moving right along to approval of city manager to sign purchase agreements and related sale documents for tax reverted property sales. Council.
I guess I have a question, Madam Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
This might be to Ms. Holman or Ms. Doom. How many properties do we have for sale right now?
Ms. Holman, I believe we have 4 coming up or 4 additional.
We have one that had a closing on Friday. We have Nevada, which has a purchase agreement pending. And then Semrau is about to be listed, followed by Lambrecht, so probably Lincoln and then Lambrecht.
Me personally, like I know like there is always like a time crunch to, you know, accept offers on these homes in a hurry. So a lot of times it's going to require a special meeting to have that. And we have to post the meetings 18 hours in advance. But I think like asking them like for 48 hours so we can plan that special meeting, I would feel better if we were approving the sales ourselves. That's just my opinion.
Any other comments on this, council? Any motion on the floor? Motion dies. Going forward to approval of purchase for IDMIA and DEMA touch print live scanner and cabinet, Taser X26P, CEW, and tactical performance power battery. Council.
Sure, Mayor, I'll motion we approve the purchase of an IDEMIA or IDEMIA touch print 5300 live scan device and touch print 5600 cabinet booking station in the amount of $16,712. The purchase of one Taser X26P CEW in the amount of $1,163.09 and one tactical performance power battery in the amount of $71.06.
Council.
Support.
Motion is supported. Please call the roll.
Councilmember DeMonico?
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido?
Yes.
Councilmember Curley?
Yes.
Councilmember Moore?
Yes.
Mayor Owens?
Yes. The next item is approval of special event application for the 22nd annual Cruising Grass Shoot on June 17th through the 19th, 2021. I know the founder, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, was Councilman Curley, and I'm gonna let him speak on this. You don't mind, Councilman Curley?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Not quite the founder,
okay.
But just to give you an update, we have reduced the number of days for the cruise because of we lost a lot of revenue because of the Texas Hold'em. We lost nearly $20,000 because that didn't happen. But we're ready to roll, and so it'll be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Of course, the council and mayor will be getting a letter from me to invite you to the VIP parade, which is always nice. I wish I could tell you who the Grand Marshal is. I really would wish I could, but I can't tell you. But if you watch Channel 2, you'd probably get a good idea, but I can't tell you who it is. But you're gonna really be happy about that. You're gonna be excited. You're gonna want his or her autograph, I'm sure. So, Madam Mayor, that's the committee has already been working extremely hard, and although I'm not the founder, I've been with them since the year 2000.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, sir. I have some questions. How are we proceeding with COVID-19 and masks? What are our safety precautions during this?
Thank you for asking that, because I got a inquiry about that as well. We looked at that very carefully, long and hard, Madam Mayor, and we've seen that there are 12 weeks left before the cruise. So we feel after the 12 weeks have expired, we feel at the rate of people getting their shots of at the rate of almost $2 million a day. By the time we get to the 17th of June, we're going to be pretty safe. So if we're going to have to require masks, although I really don't think so, we're prepared to do that.
How many people are you expecting? I'm just worried because.
Good question. You know, the year 2000 or 1999, we had well in excess of 100,000 people. I think because other than us, the Woodward Cruise was the only one in existence. Now they're all over. There's 2 and 3 every weekend. So I'm still going to expect anywhere from 85 to 90,000 people in our city. And that's basically why we do it, to show off our city, to show off our businesses. And people come ready to spend money and come to have fun.
Okay, I think Councilwoman Lucido want to say something real quick.
Yeah, so really quick, I kind of agree with what Madam Mayor was saying. I'm going to kind of go off of that. Like, any of like the health department, like recommendations that are in place or the CDC guidelines that are still in place, if we could just ensure that like all of those rules are posted at all the events, just to make sure that people know that, you know, if social distancing is still required or masks, I think masks will still be required. I think they're going to be required all summer long, actually. That, you know, that people are following those rules. I do think we need to start having some events, and any event like this that's outside, I think is a perfect kind of event to have, but just, you know, make sure we try to limit like people congregating in areas and things like that. So.
Yeah. But thank you. We definitely will adhere to anything that the state requires that we have to do for people's safety.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of nervous about having this event in Eastpointe, especially knowing that talking to the executive of Macomb and how the vaccinations and the dosages haven't really been distributed in Macomb County, and we still have deaths in Eastpointe, and a lot of our seniors and people in our city haven't had vaccinations. So I'm kind of leery about a lot of things, you know, of course, as far as, you know, happening like a big group like this. And I think it's going to be a lot of people come out, more than you think, because everybody was in the house last year. So everybody is ready to come out and do something. So, I mean, if we can do something as far as pass out masks, you know, push the people stay more in their cars, I would be more satisfied in that. It is a car show. I mean, people can stay in their cars and decorate their cars and buy their cars and things like that. But we need to have something in place where we're showing social distancing and making sure people wear their masks, you know, as much as possible. And I just want to make sure those things are in place if we're going to do that. So maybe we can have people stay in their cars, or, you know, or some, you know, what Councilwoman Lucita was saying, less congregation, because people do need to get out. I think we do need this, but you know, but as a city, you always want to take precaution in how we do things, because that's the last thing we need is everybody get sick and say, oh, because of the Eastpointe car show. And so, so I just want to put measures in place, have an EMS on, you know, standby, which that's in here, and different precautions that lets people know, you know, or have the cars separated. Cars can be separated with distance if people want to be in their cars, and, you know, just certain things in place to make sure that we're doing the best that we can. We can't stop people from doing certain things, but we sure can make sure that we have precautions and policies in place to make sure that they can have fun and safely, if those things can be done. Yes, sir.
Madam Mayor, all of your suggestions and concerns are our concerns as well.
Okay.
And I can tell you that we will adhere to all the suggestions, folks. And you know, it's the largest crowd that we have in any event in the city. And it's been going on for a long, long time. And I was just a young little boy when I started.
Okay. Can you have someone, because the Macomb County gives out masks, can you have someone passing out masks, the volunteers?
We will get probably a lot of students who want to volunteer from the high school. Okay. They always like to be involved with that, and we want to find a place for them. That would be a perfect spot, Madam Mayor.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Mayor?
Yes, ma'am.
And maybe if there are other vendors out there, you know, selling their wares, that they adhere to like plexiglass or some kind of shield up between them and the customers.
Yes.
So that the customer's not right up on their tent or a booth or food truck.
Yeah. And if
Thank you, Sylvia. It's a good idea. I never really thought about that, but a shield at all the vendors when people will go up there to buy something. Thank you for that.
I do vending in the summer, so yeah.
I wrote it down, Sylvia. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
And if we can have sanitation stations too. Those are affordable to place in certain areas where people are going to be eating at. Just, you know, sanitation stations are very inexpensive. So just those little areas to let the residents know and our guests that we're doing what we need to do to make sure they're safe and we don't take this lightly. And so, but other than that, I'm excited about it, but yet I'm scared, you know, so, but people do need to come back to some type of normalcy and, you know, let them start that here in Eastpointe. So
I don't think any of us should take anything for granted.
Yes, sir.
I think all the precautionary measures ought to be set in place, ready to enact if it becomes necessary.
Okay.
So me writing your letter to invite you to the VIP parade, maybe I shouldn't make the motion. Can I select somebody to make the motion? Somebody with a beautiful new hairdo.
I don't know. It's a lot of us. I don't know. I'll say Mr.
After
Cito.
Councilman DeMonico, I think he has something else to say.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I was just going to ask if our city manager could comment on this too, and the COVID measures, because I mean, yeah, frankly, I'm quite nervous to approve something like this. And we'll have, of course, PD and DPW, right? It'll be volunteer. Well, we'll be doing things for the crews.
Absolutely.
Oh, the DPW, sure.
Yeah, Ms. Doom, if you could, you suggested, you recommended that we approve this.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if you could comment on the COVID measures.
We've already talked to our Public Works Department, and they've assisted for many years. So they have a good understanding of the, bathroom needs, the trash cans, cleanup, support and road closures. They're well versed in that. The big question really is, is it going to be safe? And that's not a question I'm able to answer. It is outdoors. I would expect that the governor may still have a mask mandate. As to that, it's really up in the air. The hope is that we'll be in a safer position, but I can't guarantee that any more than anyone else can as to where we'll be when it's time for the cruise. Well, I would hope that people would have the common sense to make a decision that's right for them, whether they'd like to be in a public, kind of out in the open, or if they feel uncomfortable, don't come. It would be good if we recorded the entire event and put it on our website so that those who feel uncomfortable can certainly view the cars going down and be able to participate from home, from a safe space. So it really would be up to the individual who's going to join and, be a part of the Gratiot Cruise, whether they feel comfortable or not.
Okay.
What other cities have been doing events, Ms. Doom? What cities have been doing gathering events?
Well, similar to this, I was driving through the city of Taylor in the fall, and although they didn't sanction a cruise, they created their own and via social media let people know that they'd be out and about. Mm-hmm. And people were parked in, sitting in parking lots 6 feet apart, keeping their distance. And it became a very big informal cruise, which I knew nothing of. And I wound up in the middle of it, trying to drive down the road. But and I had asked about that. And it was, the city was concerned because of COVID, so they would not formally sanction a cruise, but it went on anyways. And everyone took the proper precautions or took, risks, whatever they felt they're most comfortable with.
Right.
Madam Mayor?
Yes, ma'am.
I do believe St. Clair Shores still had their cruise last summer. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure they did. And they've also hosted many outdoor events. They canceled all of their anything indoors this year because of COVID. But throughout the winter, they did host food truck rallies and things like that. So they have been hosting some outdoor events in St. Clair Shores. I do know that much.
Madam Mayor, if I may.
Yes, ma'am.
I did do a church event that was hosted outdoors in New Haven in August.
Mm-hmm.
But there wasn't 10,000 people, or 100, I know that the crash cruise normally is shoulder to shoulder with people walking down the street.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm excited because I want our community to do something, but like I said before, I'm excited and I'm nervous. It's two different things, because I want people to get outside and have some type of normalcy, and people to help with social and emotional well-being, being out and being around people. But at the same time, I don't want people to get sick, not on the city's dime. So it's kind of like you want to do so much, but you can't do what you want to do because of this COVID. And I mean, if this event was just strictly in cars, and if we did have food trucks and the food trucks went to each car and took orders and brought the food to them, or people was lined up and we had concerts where people stayed in their car or stayed, you know, if it was more structured where a way I can feel like it was more safe, that's where I don't see that in this packet and how we can conduct a safer way to do this. I think it's a good idea to want to do it, but during COVID, we have to have restrictions on how we move forward and still be able to have the events that we want and the community likes, but in a safer way. And I really don't see anything that that in there that states these things. And I don't know any community that has done this. And I don't really.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. So like I said, I'm happy about it because I feel like it's a need that people need. And then I'm nervous about it too. And it feels like council is too. And I don't, like I said, in these restrictions, I mean, I don't see any really restrictions and things in here. It's just, it's filled out as if it wasn't a COVID-19 pandemic. It's filled out as if it was a regular, you know, parade like before. And I don't see any precautions in what we're going to do. I know we talked about them, but I would have felt better if it was already in here. And then we have the governor that's still restricting people to go indoors, and we haven't even got any answer in when we're going to go back into council meetings. So everything is still up in the air. And so I really don't feel confident. I'm excited, but I'm not confident about this. But listening to what anyone else have any opinions before we move forward with this?
Madam Mayor, may I?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what Ms. Doom said. Like, we do need to start moving forward. People are going to be getting vaccines. You know, I think that people should be able to make that choice. If they want to host a cruise, I'm happy to support it. If I didn't feel comfortable attending the cruise, I would stay home with my family. I would make that decision for my family. What I think is best for my family, I will make. I think everyone else can, does still have the right to do that. So with that said, I will make the motion to approve the special event application for the 22nd annual Cruise and Gratiot Classic Car Parade, Cruise and Car Show for June 17th through 19th, 2021.
Okay, I'll support it.
Okay.
Just one more question. What are the current guidelines right now for outdoor? I don't know if Mr. Curley, I
don't know what you mean by that question. What are the
current,
what are the current, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Like health department guidelines for outdoor events right now.
Councilman Monaco.
We're not doing it right now. We're doing it in June.
Okay, what will they be in June?
Whatever they are, Mr. DeMonico, we will adhere to them. I don't know what else you want me to say. Of course, if there's health rules, we'll abide by them.
Okay.
What I would like to do, I know it's a motion, we're going to call the roll, but what I would like to make me feel better, because this always can come back. Ms. Doom, can you find out from the governor's office or find the executive order of how things about events, outside events this year, and how she wants those ran? Let's go by that.
Certainly will. Yep, I certainly will make that a priority and get back with you. It's tomorrow.
Madam Mayor.
Okay.
Madam Mayor. I would like to amend my motion to include, hold on one second. I gotta find it again. To include that the Cruising Gratiot Committee will adhere to all of the health department guidelines that are in place at the time.
That's fine.
Just make sure that is, in there, solid, that they are going to follow those guidelines at the time.
And we will, thank you, yeah.
Yes, as well as what the governor, her opinion is with that. And if we don't meet those guidelines, according to the CDC and the governor, we will cancel this. Does that sound like a plan?
Yes.
We can live with that.
Sounds good to me. Motion and support, call the roll.
Councilmember Lucido?
Yes.
Councilmember Curley?
Yes.
Councilmember Moore?
Abstain.
Mayor Owens?
Abstain.
Councilmember DeMonico?
No.
Okay. Moving right along.
Well, wait a minute.
That doesn't go through then.
And no, it doesn't go through. So I'm just going to lay it out there. I don't know what the answer is, and Richard Albright is sitting there and not said too much. I'm not sure what the ruling on abstaining is. I was always told, and Richard, tell me if I'm wrong, abstaining, when you abstain, there's a conflict of interest. In other words, you abstain because your sister's going to have a hamburger truck there on Saturday of the cruise, and you feel that's a conflict of interest because you're going to work there that day.
That's Councilmember Curley. That is my understanding as well. If there is going to be a member abstaining, the reason should be for something like that, a conflict of interest. I don't know if that's the case in this vote, but there should be a yes or no vote by each member, unless there is an instance where there is a conflict of interest. This and correct me if I'm wrong, Elke, could this agenda item be brought back, or are we under any type of time constraints? Could it be brought back, say, in April for further consideration, depending on what has come down from the governor and the CDC?
I will turn to Mr. Curley. You know better what your limitations are and when you need to go forward to prepare.
Well, we had planned to, real quickly, we had planned once this meeting was over and had we gotten approval, we were going to plan this week to order our t-shirts, order the trophies and the plaques, and send out, we have people waiting for the application to buy the packet in order to be able to ride in the dedicated lane. I know March 16th to April 18th seems, June seems like a long ways away, but there's a million things really we have to do, and everything is timeline. So if you bring it back in sometime in April, you know, I guess does that have to be somebody on, there is no prevailing side, since you had 2 yeses and 2 abstentions and 1 no. So I don't know how you would bring that back. Richard, you're the Roberts Rule guy.
Yeah, there could be, someone could make a motion for reconsideration, or just simply rescind the vote in this case and table the matter to a time at a later date.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Albright. I thought if 2 council members put it back on the agenda, that could happen. Correct? I think 2 people that, just say for instance, if I think it had to be Mr. DeMonico or me and Ms. Moore wanted to put it back on there because we abstained and he said no, we could do that if it's at least 2.
You
Is
abstained.
That how it works?
You could put it on yourself. You abstained.
That's what I'm saying. We could put it back. So what I'm saying is, once Ms. Doom get that information about what the governor has said and what the CDC says, I have no problem with bringing this back. But I don't feel 100%, and that's why I abstained. So if you want to know why I abstained, that is why. And I have talked about that throughout. So if we put it back on the agenda, once I get those numbers and that information, I don't mind putting it back on and we can proceed with this event. Is that okay, Councilman Crowley? How does that sound?
Yep, you know, we get it back under. So I guess I want a clarification. And Mr. DeMonico, you're the only no vote. What are you looking for from the governor? Are you looking for her to look in a crystal ball and tell us what's going to happen in June? Is that what you're looking for?
Well, Mr. Curley, I mean, I love the cruise. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's, you know, the biggest,
I know you do.
as everyone has said in the city. I just, right now, I think the outdoor limit is 300 people. And I mean, you're saying 65,000 on the application. I don't know how I can just vote yes on that. I mean, a music festival I go to every year was canceled last year, canceled this year. This camp I volunteer at, you know, was canceled last year, and I'm pretty sure, I don't think it's been officially canceled this year. It's going to be canceled again, I'm pretty sure, any day now. I'm just nervous, I guess. I don't imagine that the guidelines would allow for an event like this just a few months from now.
Well, it's more than 2 months. It's 12 weeks.
I have a quick question for Mr. Albright.
Yes.
So,
yes,
the two people that abstained, they wouldn't be the prevailing party. So wouldn't someone from the prevailing party have to put it? I don't understand how that would work. I'm sorry.
There has the motion did not pass, but there wasn't a motion to deny it either. There wasn't a majority for either way. That's why the motion could be, or the agenda item could be brought at a future council meeting.
So any of us could put it back on because there wasn't a prevailing party, basically. There just
That's correct.
Okay.
That's right. There was no
clarify that. So
The council has a couple of different options. There could be a motion for reconsideration, a motion to rescind, or to simply just bring it back at a later date.
Yeah, you probably also, council people and Richard, there was no prevailing side. So it died for lack of support. So in that particular case, we do not have to go by Robert's rules, I think, Richard, that you would have to say, you have to have a prevailing side has to bring it up. But in this case, there were no prevailing side. So any one of us 5 could bring it up as soon as possible.
That's the bottom line. The bottom line is that it can be brought back at a future council meeting for a vote.
Okay, sounds good.
Madam Mayor, may I ask the city manager a question?
Yes, sir, please.
First of all, let me say, I apologize. Yeah, because I'm mad, but that's okay. You know, I've been in politics long enough to know that you don't win them all. So, but having said that, Madam City Manager, can you give us a guideline how quickly you could get an answer from Lansing? And I know you might call.
I'll be researching, sir, as soon as we get off, and I would hope that absolutely no later than early tomorrow morning, I will have an answer, or tonight, and I will email all of you.
So maybe we could put it on the first meeting in April, right, Madam Mayor?
Yeah, if that's what you like. Yeah, once we get that information,
okay.
I don't see no problem with that. But, you know, I hate that you feel some type of way because I know you want this. And again, we want it too. You have to understand that, Councilman. We want the same thing you want. And, but it's not in our control of people getting sick. And I know you want safety too. And that's all we want to know is that information.
Thank you for saying that. Okay. I promise I'm not mad anymore.
Okay, good. We don't want you mad. We want this event too. I love this event. I was able to dress up in the 60s last time we had this event, so I had a good time. And I know Mr. DeMonico liked it. He had shirts and passed out shirts to me when him and his wife when I was just became a councilwoman. So he had a ball too. So I think all of us like the events. It's a family event. We all enjoy each other, and we want to keep those things going if it's safe. So moving right along to payroll and bills, Council.
Madam Mayor, I'll motion to pay the bills in the amount of $1,764,101.76.
Support.
Motion is supported. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Lucido?
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico?
Yes.
Councilmember Moore?
Yes.
Mayor Owens?
Yes.
Councilmember Curley?
Yes.
Now we move into our second hearing of the public, which allows you have additional 30 minutes from the first hearing of the public. We ask you to be respectful due to the fact that you are in front of council, you're your residents, and also you never know what ages are listening. And we want to be an example. So please open the second hearing of the public, Ms. Walton. You get 3 minutes to speak.
All right, I have the chat open. At this point, I do not see any hands raised. Oh, Gary Myron would like to speak again.
Okay.
Yes, Gary Marion from Eastpointe. Just a little comment on the cruise.
Okay.
I do belong to VMCCA, Vintage Motor Car Club of America. They do have a list of a bunch of events that's going on weekly. Every ones that I've been to is social distancing. Everybody usually takes care of, mask, watching what they're doing, because it's an older crowd. That weekend's the same weekend as Greenfield Village, but I'm not sure if they're having theirs this year. And there's other car shows that are happening that are a little later that they're planning. But a lot of people do, kind of take care of themselves. I mean, I'm just hoping, that same thing, just something to think about, that there is quite a few other ones weekly that are being planned, St. Clair Shores and Warren. And I don't have a list of the events right now, but I know there's one being made. But that's the main thing, is social distancing. Just as long as everybody, takes care, and not big crowds like usually, where bands and all this other, events are happening, just a little on the low key. And people usually take care of themselves. If you think it's unsafe, just don't go. That's what I do. If I see too many, then I don't go. Just information. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else, Ms. Walton?
Linda Flans would like to speak again.
How you doing again, Ms. Flans?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good. I just wanted to make a comment on the cruise too. I think that, people need to leave it up to people to decide for themselves. By the time June comes, the vaccine should be a lot more distributed. We've already got a lot of people. I don't think it's going to be that much of an issue. So I would hope that would go on. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Do you have anyone else?
All right, there's nothing in the chat, and I do not see any hands raised at this time, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for attending this meeting and being a part of the hearing of the public. The hearing of the public is now closed. We will be going to mayor and council reports, starting with Councilman Hurley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm, of course, going to be anxious to see what our city manager finds out. I hope it's definitive. I hope it's something that we don't have to second guess the governor in this particular instance, that they would say, we hope by June 15th or 16th that things are going to be nearly normal, but still following the guidelines. So, but you know what? We all love this city and we all love what we're doing. And this is a process. And as you know, I've been around long enough to know that there wasn't a complete no. We still can go forward. We just have to, and tomorrow I will let the committee know that it's on hold and that we will not print anything up or send anything out until we have our, hopefully it'll be a Madam Mayor, that it would be on our next meeting, the first meeting in April. That would be swell. That would be awesome if it could be that way. So thank you for the exchange. Cardi, you know I love you. So thank you, Madam Mayor, and good night.
May I jump in?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Curley?
Yeah.
I've pulled it up. Right now, you won't have to wait until tomorrow morning. Currently, outdoor non-residential gatherings are up to 300 people. They're allowed with masks and social distancing required. That's the latest information I have just found on outdoor gatherings.
Well, that doesn't tell me a thing. You're going to have to search more. I mean, that's saying like right now or right now, tomorrow,
right?
March 17th. It doesn't say April 18th. What I want to find, excuse me, what I want to find out from you is what their thought is for June 18th, not tomorrow.
Okay.
Let's move right along. If you're done, I don't want to mess up council reports. See, that's not going so well right now. So what things is done? Councilman Crowley, were you finished?
Madam Mayor, thank you. I'm done.
Okay. Councilman Crowley is passionate about that cruising grass, everyone, as we can see. Moving right along to Councilwoman Moore.
Well, I don't have much to say. I just want everyone to stay safe out there. Continue to follow the CDC guidelines. Get your shot as soon as your turn is available, so that the more people that do get their shots, we can have this herd immunity and we can cruise grass it and be out in summer and do a lot of things. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Councilman DeMonico.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. I think I'm just going to keep my comments a lot shorter than I originally was going to.
Whoa.
I know. But, you know, there's a first for everything.
And then you're outside, too. It's cold, so.
Yeah, I got to get into a warm building here in a minute. I've had a little bit of fun for March's Reading Month here. Just Zooming with students, Zoomed with my old 5th grade teacher, Mrs. Young, and her class. We read, well, Alyssa and I both read to them. Alyssa read the Lorax and I read the worst alphabet book of all time called P is for Pterodactyl. So that was a good time, but I'll be posting just a few fun little videos on Facebook too for March's Reading Month, and sent that over to the schools as they usually ask about videos. So just wanted to share that, and hopefully everyone else has a chance to read, and hopefully, next year we can read in person. So I think that's about all. So I'm all set, Madam Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for reading to the youth and giving back as well. Councilwoman Lucido.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. First, I would like to start out by encouraging everyone to join the Arts and Cultural Diversity Commission's Facebook page. Right now, they're having a contest, and they have been hosting a contest that you don't need snow to build a snowman, and they're looking for people to submit pictures of their snowmen that they made inside. Also, they've been doing a great job celebrating Women's History Month. Last week, the Parks Commission met for their regular meeting, and they started going over their wish list of all the things they want to see done in the parks and prioritizing those. So as we work on our budget coming up here, we can start hopefully incorporating some of those things into our future budgets. Also, the SMSD met last week, and they did finalize their budget, and it looks like Eastpointe is going to have a little bit of a sewer rate increase this year of about 1.6%. But with that said, we are going to be getting $575,142 back into our water and sewer fund. So hopefully we can use that to help offset some of those rates. And if we can just take a quick moment to just thank Jeff Lubeck for all of his years of service on the Planning Commission. It really is appreciated. Devoted residents like that really have put the time in. I really think that we need to make sure, we take the time to appreciate them, because they've stepped up a lot of times when we didn't have anyone to volunteer for these positions, and they took them on, and they've always done a fantastic job. And just, real quick, it is around the 1-year anniversary of Michigan's first COVID patient positive case in Michigan. And so if we can just all just remember, you know, we still need to play safe. We still need to wear our masks, go out, get your vaccine. We all have to do our parts to make sure we can, you know, finish the end, get to the end of this and stay strong together as one in strong Eastpointe. And that's all I have this evening, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilwoman. I heard we had a really good meeting, shorter than most. I think we're the only council that has 4-hour meetings in the whole county of Macomb. So it's funny that we did a short one today. So I want to thank Chris Kyles from the Boys and Girls Club for coming out and letting us know what we need to do to move our city forward, to be a better community for our youth. And I am still working on vaccinations. We had a proposal that I was working on. We were denied that proposal to come to Eastpointe. Unfortunately, I worked really hard to get that in place. And I'm actually fighting for a lot of things. I don't understand how certain areas can take back vaccinations, and we're fighting for vaccination. So it's a lot of things that I am working on, working hard for, and just getting those people to help me, you know, fight back to make sure our residents have those vaccinations, so we don't always have to go outside looking for resources when we need them here. And also working on bringing new businesses to Eastpointe, which I always love to do. Those that are leaving other cities and can't afford to be a home at those cities anymore, we want to invite them to invest in Eastpointe and welcome them to our home and let them know we'll support those businesses here. As well as I understand that we talk about when we do these events in our city that people are responsible on their own for coming out. But when I took this seat as the mayor, I'm not only responsible for me and my children, I am now responsible for over 30,000 residents and the betterment and what we do as a city. So whatever I do in my personal life or career and things like that, that's me. But when I became an elected leader, I have to do what's best for everybody. And so when we have events and things like that, we can say people can come, you know, if they feel like it, but it's our responsibility to make sure if these events are safe and are they a priority. And so again, we want to continuously have events. We want to make sure it's some type of norm coming back, but we have to make sure it's safe, and that's our responsibility as a council and also as a community to make sure it's not about one person doing what they want to do. It's about a community coming together, making sure your neighbor is safe and the person across the street from you is safe as well. So saying that, everyone have a good night. Everybody that joined this meeting, thank you. And can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Support.
Motion is supported. Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Curley?
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido?
Yes.
Mayor Owens?
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico?
Yes.
And Councilmember Moore?
Yes.
Meeting adjourned. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.